The time in Central Africa is exactly 09:31. Lovely good morning to you and welcome to Friday's edition of Chatback right here on Radio Christian Voice. My name is Angel Kasabo and always great to know that you are tuned in. A reminder that this conversation, you're able to follow it live on Facebook. You go to your Facebook and search for RCV News. RCV News is a platform where we post everything current affairs. So come through and let's get interactive. The number is 0956 200 490. That's the number that you can call in for your contributions and questions. 0956 200 490. That's the number that you can call in for your contributions and questions. This morning we do look at the transport sector and we are reflecting or reacting to the recent reductions in as far as transportation costs is concerned. And I'm privileged to be joined in studio by the Commuter Rights Association of Zambia president and also founder, Mr. Aaron Kamuti. Good morning and welcome to Chatback.
Thank you very much, Angel. Good morning, listeners.
Mr. Kamuti, how have you been? I know it's been a few busy days for you, but how is it going?
As usual, it's always rough, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, we overcome whatever we go through.
Yes, most definitely. All right, Mr. Kamuti, I think let's get straight into it. We saw that recently the Energy Regulation Board adjusted fuel prices for the month of July. And for the month of July, petrol is going to be selling at about 28 kwacha from the 31 kwacha. So there was a reduction of about 3 kwacha there. Then we saw diesel is going to be selling for 23 kwacha. From the 25 kwacha, there was a reduction of about 1 kwacha 99 ingwe, almost about 2 kwacha. Then we saw kerosene also coming down and also jet A1 are coming down. So the moment that we saw these new prices for the month of July for petrol, people are excited because the moment these prices reduce, it entails that also bus fares are going to be reduced. Now this comes on the backdrop that we've been having minimal price reductions in the month of May and June, but we saw that there was no reflection in as far as bus fares are concerned. But to our surprise, local routes have been adjusted by 1 kwacha, and for local distance routes, there has been no reduction. As far as we are concerned, you are the Commuter Rights Association of Zambia. You speak on our behalf as the commuters. You're part of these negotiation sort of meetings. And now there was a 1 kwacha reduction. Let us hear the story from your side. How did we get to a 1 kwacha reduction on bus fares?
Thank you very much, Angel. First to start with, I want to appreciate ERB for their consistency in the way they've done in the recent past. I think we've seen reductions of pump fuel prices in a low consecutively over 3 months. And this is a good thing for the growth of the economy and also for those who are doing business. And the recent one, I think all of us, we anticipated to see the reduction in bus fares. But the unfortunate part that we always know that there's that greediness from the operators. First, one thing we want to put clear here is that we are very disappointed with RTSA. Reason being that the trend has been that each time there's an adjustment on the pump fuel price, either upwards or downwards, we need to call for a stakeholders consultative meeting. And that has been the trend, like I've alluded. But this time around, there was no such a thing where stakeholders were engaged. The proposal came from the operators after the minister was taken to task by Parliament. If you remember very well, it was media houses. So what they proposed to RTSA, a 1 kwacha across the board for local routes, and they totally refused to reduce on the long distance and intertown, which is very unfortunate. Before that could be pronounced by RTSA, give it to the media and people to know what is pertaining, we put objection. We said this is a mockery because we cannot accept this, and meaning it has no impact on the public transport sector. So why can't we go on the negotiation table to see how we can engage each other and agree on principle what we should anticipate? Unfortunately, RTSA went ahead and announced the one kwacha, which was proposed by the operators. And no one, even RTSA themselves, would take it upon themselves to look at the one kwacha. It's not reflecting the true it's not reflecting the true reductions from the palm fuel price.
Yeah, but this time around, why didn't that stakeholders meeting take place?
This is what
Where
I'm trying.
you are also called to the board to say, give us your opinion.
It's very unfortunate that this is a country where we don't have precedents in a number of things. No, we have some changes, obviously, in some position in RTSA. We had people who have worked with, who had the know-how, and these are the people who understood what was happening. So, if definitely when somebody leaves office, we need that, you continue with what's been happening. And definitely we saw, even if we would argue here and there, at the end of the day, we'll find a solution. But this time around, whatever the operators will propose, RTSA, their job is just to announce. And the only thing we would see, maybe a communication from the operators printed out and given to us without asking if we are agreeing to that proposal. And we can only do that if we are engaged as stakeholders.
Yeah, so at that particular moment when RTSA, when the bus operators, and maybe just for this, to add context, because someone could be listening to you and they're saying, these bus operators, what is the composition of these bus operators? Who comprise of these bus operators, where this one kwacha came from, this one kwacha suggestion came from?
And again, that is something which is, Angel, you've brought up that very clear question. I think that is something we need to understand very well. Who are these operators? So what has happened is that these operators have formed up a consortium, like an association, representing their interests. So in this association, we have long-distance bus operators. They are the majority. And we have a few local operators sitting in the same association. Currently, the chairman is operator based in Rwansha. He has a few buses operating in Rwansha, Lusaka. And obviously their vice is somewhere in the Copper Belt. So most of these operators are in the Copper Belt. We have very few here in Lusaka. So going forward, we thought coming up with such an association, it will bring sanity in the sector. Yeah, because there's that confusion, obviously, with some of these operators. But unfortunately, we are seeing now this association operating like a cartel, because definitely if we are putting force or enforce things which other people are opposing, I think that's not fair. So we want RTSA to understand very clear that being the custodian of the Road Transport Act, number 11 of 2002, they should understand these operators, when they approach RTSA to acquire their RTSA, their operation licenses, they go individually. They don't go as an association. So if we would say, let's even agree in terms of issues of this nature, transport, they should give us that I've worked on my bus, I've put up this to improve the services, so I'm going to increase on bus fares. We should not always talk about fuel, yet look at some of these buses we are using. They leave much to be desired.
Yeah, so Mr. Kamuti, if I'm getting you straight, these particular operators, majority of them are long-distance operators. And what I'm seeing here is that, yes, in as much as they are in it for business, but there's a little bit of selfishness among these operators.
That is automatically. There's that greediness. If you've seen where we are coming from, wherever there's the adjustment of pumping of price upwards, They don't even consult. They just rush in to see their bus fares going up, especially for long distance. That's greatness. Wherever there's an adjustment of palm fuel price coming down, they always drag their feet. They don't want to be engaged. Look at how long it has taken for them to even to come up with that one kwacha. We anticipated to see this immediately. ERB reduce the palm fuel prices. The following day would have called for a meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Kamuti, so at the point at which they suggested a 1 kwacha reduction, when you raised your red flags to say, we're not comfortable with this 1 kwacha reduction, did you engage with RTSA, and maybe they did not listen to you?
Unfortunately, how this was done, the greatness from the operators, this letter was given to RTSA over the weekend.
It was given to RTSA over the weekend?
That was the Saturday, and RTSA was busy going to the trade fair, the Copper Belt. So there was no communication. So we expected to see the meeting called maybe Wednesday of this week, or after the long holiday. Yeah, because there was no time. And RTSA pronounced, I guess, the same 1 kwacha, I think, over the long weekend. I think that was this Monday, if I'm not mistaken, or Sunday. So there was no room for us to sit down. So immediately we saw that 1 kwacha, we opposed. We had written the letter. I have it with me, even on my phone here.
I listened to the Minister of Transport very clearly when he was tasked to Parliament to explain how these particular processes are. And according to him, he said, once after all negotiations are done, it is then brought to him as a minister and just to give guidance to say you can go ahead. So are you surprised that 1 kwacha was given to the Honorable Minister of Transport and he gave ahead to say, okay, you can publish these reductions?
So meaning the minister was not told the truth. If the minister knows very well that there's that engagement among the stakeholders. Like I said, that has been the trend. And we have a model of which we follow. The operators have created their own model, and RTSA have got their own model where we negotiate and use that model to give us the actual reflection of what we expect to adjust or to increase. So this time around, I think the last time we had such stakeholders consultative meetings been a while. It's a long time. Like I said, the people used to be in these positions a lot longer with RTSA, and these people were very keen to engage all the stakeholders. Now we have different...
so the new people at RTSA are not helping the commuters.
They are not helping the situation.
They are not having stakeholder consultations,
exactly,
as we would call them.
Yes.
And every time these fares are released, we are being told after stakeholders consultation,
which is a lie. Which is a lie, because this has never happened. And the same 1 kwacha, who would they engage? Who saw this one? We only saw this 1 kwacha after everything has been done.
But also the local operators, what is their role? Because then the long distance operators, being majority, they refuse to,
yes,
not going to reduce
anything. Yeah.
So then, is it influenced by the long distance operators, by the local operators to go this? Because when you look at, this is 3 kwacha petrol, yeah, and diesel, you would expect that majority of the long distance buses use diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel is 23 kwacha per liter, but no
nothing
reduction.
Yes.
So then
that's selfishness.
For the local operators, what is happening there? Do you think they're being influenced by these long distance operators?
I wouldn't say that. I think we also have some operators who are greedy, because even that 1 kwacha given to the commuters is not really something to talk about, because what difference is there? Yes, we know very well that in the local routes we sometimes negotiate for bus fares. But again, we need to see something appearing on the fare chart.
Okay, let's flip the coin on the other side. I also listened to the minister when he said these operators, they're saying fuel is just one component on which to determine the prices of a particular, perhaps maybe journey or a route. But there are other things like maintenance, tires being replaced, these obligations that they have to pay, insurance and whatnot, and all those bundled, those obligations that these operators have to pay. do you think those are justifiable for us to see slim reductions like this?
And Joe, that's total greatness. I think the unfortunate part is that I would have loved if our government would have their own buses. We've seen these happening in other countries, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, South Africa. They have their own buses to compete with the private sector so that we try to have a fair play. Now, the operators have taken the monopoly. They've taken advantage of the situation. They know that they can give all sorts of excuses. Because, yes, we know very well that fuel is one of the major components to for transport. Now, if they start talking about tear and wear and other stuff, I think that's not being fair. Yeah, because you see, here we are talking about the issue of fuel. And fuel is the most important thing. If they would have been talking about spare parts and stuff, the dollar is trading very well against the kwacha. We know the dollar now is just come down. So this will marry with what is pertaining in terms of fuel and those tea and where they are talking about. But out of selfishness, they always want to find excuses to say, because of this, we cannot do this. I think there's no logic.
Mr. Kamuti, from your considered view as CRAZ, what was going to be, let's say for instance, the local routes, what was going to be your preferred reduction in local routes before we get to the
I think for local routes, given a 3 kwacha or 2 kwacha 15 ngwe, that is okay.
But also seeing that the reduction started in May.
Yes. So in fact, we looked at 5 kwacha to say, and
5 kwacha
to 3 kwacha across the board. But after we had consulted. By the way, let me get the. We have Zambia Consumer Association. We also have CCPC. Mm-hmm. These are stakeholders. We are not even consulted, but we came up together. We sat, we spoke about this. We said, "This, I don't think this is not what we expected to see on the, the outcome of. Even if we had meetings, we wouldn't have agreed to a 1 kwacha. So for us, local routes, we are looking at 3 kwacha or 2 kwacha 15 ngwe.
And then for
long distance, we looked at 50 kwacha or 30 kwacha across the board, and for intertown, 10 kwacha or 8 kwacha across the board. Mm. That is the minimum we can go or accept. But 1 kwacha and nothing on intertown and intercity, I think it's very unfair and unfortunate.
Mr. Kamuti, now all this has happened and a lot of people have been criticizing your association that it's not speaking for the people, the commuters, that your association is being overpowered. Others have dared to say, you're not doing anything in the association, because how do we have such a major drop in fuel prices and only get a 1 kwacha reduction? That is taking Zambians for a ride. How do you respond to this criticism that has come through bashing your association?
Oh, yeah. In fact, Angel, I appreciate your inviting me here. I think let me put it very clear to the passengers out there. We were not consulted on this one. We have been always putting our position wherever there is a stakeholders consultative meeting. If they know what happens behind the scenes, there are fights. We become physical. These people, they think they've got money, because even if they have money, they cannot do without a passenger. We pay for this service, not Mahara. But when we are in that board meeting, there is total confusion. We become physical. We nearly start maybe even fighting, you see. But unfortunately, after all these, like the one we are talking about, the recent adjustment, unfortunately, we were not even involved. We were not even invited for a stakeholders consultative meeting, like I'm saying here. If we were there, we wouldn't have agreed to a 1 kwacha. But again, we've put it in writing to RTSA that the 1 kwacha pronounced by RTSA we are objecting.
Are you confident that things are going to turn around?
I know they cannot, but
seeing that it looks like business as usual and everyone
exactly,
everyone has moved
which
on.
I agree with you. But you see, what is important is to put everything on record, like I'm doing here, and we put it in writing, presented to RTSA that this is our position. So in future, such a thing should not happen. They cannot be one-sided. Proposal coming from the operators with their greediness, and they go ahead to announce without asking other players in the sector, like ourselves and the other associations, even the drivers themselves. They were not involved. This was just done by the operators, because drivers, they've got their own association. We have the interests of the passengers. We have other players in the same line. But why should you just pick one side of the story from the major opposition, like the operators, and give them a leeway to agree to whatever they presented to RTSA? I think that doesn't make sense. It's not health.
Mr. Kamuti, I have a text message here. It's very interesting. Mr. Kamuti, good morning, and how are you doing? One of the reasons as to why these operators seem selfish is because these buses, before they load in intercity or Kulimatawa bus station, they have to leave a lot of money. So maybe this is the reason as to why we are in this particular case. No name, but from Lusaka. Thank you so much for this text message. Loading fees.
Angel,
coming to say that I have to leave a lot of money.
Right now, I'm doing some a bit of consultants for some operators. I'm very much aware what happens in bus stations.
What happens?
What really goes around there is that yes, the fees have gone up, especially for the council. I think we are coming from that background where we had very minimal fees paid direct to the council. But this time around, we have buses for local routes leaving 500 kwacha. 500 kwacha.
500
That's
kwacha,
the latest, yes.
500 kwacha for a trip?
A load, yes.
In Kulimatawa?
No, intercity.
Or intercity?
Intercity, for long distance, that is.
So for a bus that is traveling to Kitwe, they have to pay 500 kwacha to the council?
Yes.
That's for one bus?
For one bus. For those buses going outside the country, the local buses, they are paying 700. And we have 1,000 kwacha. For those Zimbabwe buses, Tanzania, they leave 1,000 kwacha per bus. That goes to the council. And then we have other issues, roads, where that bus is parking, loading. We have issues like, I don't know what I can say, parties engaged, getting at least something from there.
We were told that political parties are not in bus stations.
Still, it's more smarter than what you expect.
Mr. Kamuti, I'll beg to disagree with you. On this particular platform, we've had initials or officials from the United Party for National Development, UPND, the ruling party, that have said in these particular bus stations there are no party officials, there's no cadarism, and no one from the party is collecting money. This is what we have been told.
You know, bus stations are gold mine. Not those gold mine we are talking about in Fumbwe, where that's a gold mine. Every bus station, that's impossible. You cannot remove those people. They just change the system, the way they operate, the way they do things. Some of us who have grown old in bus stations, we know very well what is happening around. Because that, if someone would say that, I disagree.
So cadarism is still in bus stations?
Smarter than is there.
There's smart cadarism in bus stations?
Yeah, it's there.
And these people are collecting money?
Yeah, why not?
From bus operators?
Yes. So, yes, for the message you've just read, that is true. There are monies which are being left behind. Obviously, a number of money is being left in bus station. I've mentioned of paying to the council direct, also other for the slot, the conjunta.
So a bus traveling from Lusaka maybe to Luansha, has to pay first 500 kwacha. Then they have to pay for that junta, the slot. Do you know how much it is?
That one, I don't know how much the figure. But,
okay, so they're paying 500 kwacha.
Yeah.
They're paying for the slot. Then they're also giving money to the political party.
200 kwacha.
200 kwacha.
Yeah.
That's per trip.
Yeah.
What else are they paying?
I mean, that is what is there. But maybe the other stuff, like, the roaders and those people, because there's a lot of activities in bus stations.
So approximately you're saying for one bus to travel out, 1,000 kwacha.
Yeah. It has to.
So then now, don't you think this is a reason as to why the bus operators are behaving in this way?
I cannot buy that. That is what has been there. It's not starting now. It has been there. Maybe the figures have adjusted, but that cannot allow the operators to deny the passengers something to smile about. Government, through ERB, they've done their job. The reductions, they have been seen in black and white. Consecutive 3 months reduction. Whether minimal or what, we need to benefit from those reductions. So that's giving the monies which these operators are leaving in bus stations, that is a normal situation from time immemorial, from UNIP, MMD, PF, it has been there.
You're saying that you're doing a study. How about Kulimatawa bus station? How much do these local buses leave in the station? Per load, do you have an idea?
For local routes, for now, I'll lie. I haven't done much. I'm always inside intercity bus terminals. I know what happened. Yeah,
but previously,
I mean, it has been the same for a load of a bus local. I think they should be 30 kwacha or 20 kwacha, if I'm not mistaken. Do
they also pay for slots?
There, what pays is the chilimba. You leave something. Obviously that's their benefits, but again, for you, every road there's something which is left behind, but I'm not so sure about how much. But do
they also pay allegiance to the party?
It's like I said, it's everywhere. That if it doesn't happen, it's everywhere. In fact, Kulimatawa now it's like these guys, the way they operate, they are different from other bus stations.
I was going to ask that. Why does Kulimatawa look so different? Because there's so many promotions there.
Yes, yeah.
And they also said something about the fuel.
The fuel, yes, I'm aware. Yeah, in fact, I'm supposed to meet their chairman,
they said,
Mr. Banda.
First, ERB should maintain these prices.
The same.
Yes.
Another.
Then we're going to reduce. So, would you say that Kulimatawa is becoming a very notorious bus station, or there's something that we don't know that you can tell us?
Well, to be precise,
it looks so special.
Yeah,
there's something special happening there.
Yeah, what is special about them is that I would say they are well organized, in the sense that whatever they are doing is agreeable among themselves. Now, what I should not understand maybe is if there is any force used to make everyone understand what goes around inside there. But most of the time, I've interacted with them. I've seen that they would call a meeting among the heads of those routes, to say supervisors. They will engage them, talk about them, whatever you see, and wherever passengers got a problem, they can easily be approached, and they will handle your problem. If you have any problem with any bus, whatever respective route you are using, if you have any conflict on that bus, you can report to them, and they'll take charge. And that's the good news about them comparing to other bus stations. And they've got that also good behavior, which I've loved, that the elders, they are given that priority to board a bus. You don't follow the queues. And they are totally different in terms of bus fares. Where I live, 10 miles is 18 kwacha. 15 miles is 20 kwacha. Other buses is 22 kwacha. There is no say I'm dropping from here. If you go to Rumumba, you pay 22 kwacha. Going to 10 miles, 15 miles. Yeah, the 20 kwacha is along the way. But with the Kurima Tower, it's 18 kwacha up to 10 miles. From 10 miles going there is 20 kwacha.
Others have alleged that there's a lot of politics happening at Kurima Tower.
Well,
bus station. They say this is why we also saw this bus station cutting. They said I think everyone should travel for free.
At that one point.
At one point for the birthday party for the Republican president.
And I was a beneficiary.
You're a beneficiary.
Yeah, I was a beneficiary.
And there's been all these promotions, and a lot of people have been highly suspicious that there's a lot of politics happening at Kurima.
Well, everywhere there are politics. Every bus station has politics, but it's how you come out. If you go to Rumumba, you interact with a number of drivers, they complain. Because the state of Rumumba right now, even the station itself, because if you remember, we are coming from the PPP arrangement, Rumba and the Agrofuel. The Agrofuel is the one who built that space, and then they had that working relationship with the council. And the Agrofuel had been running as management. So now, after change of power, these people were removed completely. They are no longer there. Council have taken over, and the politics at play. But what is happening there is something else.
Lumumba bus station.
Lumumba bus station. There's dirty. There's no sanity. The area is dirty. No one is cleaning the area. But there's a lot of money coming from there. Because after intercity, it's Lumumba. If you look at the correction of revenue.
Not Kurima Tower.
No. It's Lumumba, then Kurima Tower. Then Sitmark. There's a lot of money there. But now the state of affairs, the way the station is being run, the surrounding of the station is nothing to talk about.
Yeah, now that you've talked about intercity, again, I'm poised to wonder. I mean, if one bus leaves the 500 kwacha to the council, yeah, and there are so many buses that leave. When you go to 04 at intercity, maybe even over 20 buses leave.
Yeah,
and
especially when there's business, 50 buses.
Where does that money?
50 buses, 70 buses. Right now, over long weekend, I was there. Even yesterday, I was there. We are seeing buses going out in numbers because people are traveling. Long weekend, there were a shortage of buses. There were no buses. So meaning, we know very well that there's a lot of revenue. And that's a good question. Where is this money? Because we're not even improving that infrastructure. The sanitation, toilets are pathetic, and people are paying. There's no running water in toilets.
Also people are paying for that sanitation to put on top.
Yes.
Then there's that 500 that is going to intercity.
Yes. Offices there. Those small kiosks you are seeing there, people are paying.
In case you are just tuning in, you are listening to Friday's edition of Chatback right here on Radio Christian Voice. This morning, I'm privileged to be joined by the Commuter Rights Association of Zambia CRAZ President, Mr. Aaron Kamuti. He's with us to look at the recently adjusted bus fares of only one kwacha. And this conversation is live on Facebook. Go to RCV News. That's why we post everything current affairs, and also 0956 200 490. You can send us your text messages for now, and then we'll get your calls a little bit later. 0956 200 490. All right. Lastly, let me get your last thoughts on this particular price reductions, one kwacha. Some passengers are still confident that maybe things will change. What would be your sort of word of encouragement? But maybe before I get to that, as an association, seeing that you've been sidelined from the recent adjustments on these bus fares, what does this mean for you? Are you a little bit frustrated that you are sidelined? Are you not happy that you continue to be overlooked in these particular decisions? Or maybe there's more to what we are seeing than what we are interpreting?
Yeah, there's nothing. First, what I would say is that we are very much disappointed. And again, there's lack of understanding among the current staff at RTSA. They don't understand the dynamics of
the new people that have gone to
yes, they don't
RTSA,
understand. Because if we, and this is a country where we have this problem. When one leaves office, meaning everything goes with them, there is no one who will pick it from where you've left.
Continue.
This is a serious problem which we have as a country. Because if the people acting in this position, they know very well where we are coming from, they would have been doing the same things. Engagement, it's very important. There is no way you can pick one component or one proposal from the other sector and you leave other players without understanding what is going around. The only thing you'll see is a pronouncement, which doesn't make sense. And honestly speaking, I'll still repeat myself that we are very disappointed and we feel that this kind of thing should not repeat itself. We need to change and go back to what has been happening, because operators have no power than ourselves. We, in fact, you have more power than the operators, but for them to be buying these buses, because of us as passengers. If there were no passengers, there were no people using these vessels, they wouldn't have been buying these buses. We've seen a number of players coming in this sector because they know that there's a lot of money. People are traveling. So if we are not appreciating what people are giving us, then it's very unfortunate, because we need to look at the bigger picture. I mean, are we, our commuters or passengers, are they benefiting to our services? Because if you wanted a number of these buses, especially for local routes, if you see some of these buses, we just use them because we have no other option. They don't deserve to be on the roads. They are finished, and one would ask, how do they acquire their fitness? And these are the same buses we are talking about, where when it comes to adjustment of the palm fuel price, they rush to adjust the fares. They will even argue with you, no, sumuzi wat fuel wanarunda ngena ni chap. Now, where you are ngenaring, you don't even know where to sit. Seats are torn, it's something else. But we've compromised. We've continued paying. It's not that there is no any other way around, but it's unfortunate that this is the environment of which we are operating in.
Yeah, and just there to now switch and move to something else. Looking at the state of some of these buses that commuters get on, especially the local roads, and this has been a complaint for a very long time from the commuters that have constantly come to your association and also just made their complaints well known on media, that some of these buses that people get onto, it's just that there's no any other option. You're late, you have to get to work before 8, and then this bus comes, it's in a bad state. Even the seats are not properly modified, but you have to get on that bus because you have to get to the office at 8. But also last time when we had you on this platform, you talked about how that was a program to phase out these HICE buses that we use for local routes. Is there anything new that the Commuter Rights Association can update the commuters on how this program is going?
Yeah, I appreciate, Enjo, your that area of concern you've raised. First, we'll start with the quantums, the IS, so-called IS. We all know very well that they've never been buses. These are cargo vans from the point of manufacturing, point of entry, and where they are. We just improvise everything on them. And those seats, in case of an accident, the material used to manufacture those seats have been lethal. People are still dying because of the same buses. We have now something to talk about. RTSA, from November, they've put up their position after consultatives with the ZRA. Why ZRA allow this to enter the country? ZRA put it very clear that it's about a vehicle. It's not about that this is going to be a public vehicle carrying passengers. And the reason why we brought in these so-called IS and quantum, if you remember very well where we're coming from, we had a crisis of transport. So by then, the MMD government put a duty-free for these buses to come, so that will cushion that shortage of transport by that time. And that time is gone. So now from November, that's what they've done. They are not registering new buses, so-called cargo vans, quantums and ice. It will be a gradual, the phasing out. Because once they pronounce, there were always politics at play. There will be a stop. Because what has been happening in the past and why these so-called IS and quantums haven't been removed from the road is because of interference from politicians. They always come out say, no, what are people going to be doing, blah, blah, a lot of excuses. But this time around, it has been quiet. From November, no new highs would come in. So what you are going to see is what is operating now. Once these buses phases out, that will be the end of a Toyota.
Mr. Commuter, how about someone who would argue with you to say that's not the case, because we see these buses that we get onto these same highs and quantums with new number plates. Now, I've been able to tell that this number plate is a new one. It's from Silverest.
I agree with you, but on record, what I'm telling you is the first-hand information. From November, even last week meeting or the other week, that's came up in the meeting to say, no, we have started doing this. But I won't rule that. I want to rule out that 100%. Obviously, there's underhand methods used sometimes to do that. But again, right at their point of entry in Nakonde, they won't allow that. Maybe, like you have said, that we've seen new number plates currently operating. Maybe that vehicle came as just any other ordinary vehicle. Now, through using corruption, somebody will have the red number plate. Yeah, maybe that is there. But to be honest with you, that is what was on paper.
So if those buses have stopped being registered under RTSA, what buses are now going to be registered? What buses are we going to be getting on?
Angel,
as commuters?
We are moving with time. We need bigger buses. We are looking at buses which can carry numbers. You know that confusion which is at Korimata. If we had bigger buses, removing those small ones, the space is, you would have enough space for the buses to park. But because of these small so-called IS and quantums, they've, congested the bus stations to that extent where even now we have gone outside the station parking vehicles on the road. But going forward, this is the position. What I'm telling you, that's a clear position from RTSA, and we'll be seeing once this bus parks, it can't come back on the road. And that will be gradually. Maybe it will be take 5 or 3 years. And again, to cushion the same impact, Angel, we are moving with time. Right now, we have other committed institutions trying to bring in the electrical buses. They're on their way anytime. Yes.
Electrical buses in Osaka.
Yes. If they have in Tanzania, even here very soon we're going to have that. I'm part of that committee, attending those meetings. We are just waiting for clearance from government so that we put in place logistics in terms of where we should be charging those buses. It will be side by side fuel and electricity. Now the question is, this power crisis we have,
load shedding in Zambia, electric buses.
So that is a question now. That's a question which we have. But behind the scenes, something is happening. We have those buses, and we are going to have other players coming in. Because
I know buses that operate with solar.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Even other players, they are coming in to bring in proper, nice buses. It's a chain reaction. What we have now, 5 years to come, it will be something else. Yeah, what we are interested in is to see all these vans, cargo vans, the quantums, the highest to move out from the road.
I have a text message here that is asking, good morning, Mr. Kamuti. Are you able to what's this word? Okay. It says, are you able to bargain for the replacement of high buses with flash buses? A flash bus is also meant to carry people.
No. Those buses come from UK. They carry cargo there. They just come like panels. They have no seats. He just manufacture them at his place there.
So even the flash buses are illegal?
They are yes. In fact, they're even worse comparing to even
those ones feel a little bit more comfortable.
Well, because of doing the sittings and everything on them by himself, so he wants to make comfortable for the people. Quite
so. Even the flash buses are illegal buses.
Because they're not buses.
They're not buses, but they're cargo.
They are cargo.
They are meant to carry cargo in the UK.
In the UK, after they are done, they are thrown in the Malaba rubbish there. You collect them, you bring them here, and you improvise everything on them. So you allow the passengers to be using as buses. Yeah. So those also they are not buses.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that particular development. We have to start bring in calls, but also you talked about how Kulima Tower bus station is a very organized bus station, and maybe I may agree with you, but I may disagree with you on one thing. I doubt if it's very organized when it comes to the rain season, because time and again, the Kulima Tower bus station is a station that floods the most. All the stations are, I think, across the country. But also, when we had you on this platform, you briefed us of how that there are plans to expand these bus stations. For instance, long-distance buses that are coming from the Copper Belt that are using the Great North Road will establish a bus station around 6 miles. Buses that are going to the south, Chirundo, Livingstone, Kazungula, will establish a bus station perhaps maybe Chilanga and those areas. How are those plans going? Have they stalled, or conversations are still taking place just to ensure that we move in that direction? Yeah,
and I still want to go back to what I said earlier on. Unfortunately, is that when someone moves from that particular office, everything dies a natural death. We had been in talking with the then Honorable Minister of Local Government, Honorable Gary Nkombo. He was agreeable with my proposal. We thought of taking advantage of Hero Stadium. You've seen that confusion which is there. We thought of that space which is lying idle just there at Hero Stadium. We take advantage of that and create a space for buses, where buses coming from either the other direction, 10 miles or Charleston, come there, park there, and we have a few buses which will be coming into town. So that, look at the kind of mischief at Kulima Tower. We create space so that a few buses come in there. And also we looked at buses going to southern, this side. We wanted to create a very nice space just somewhere near downtown there, where we have seen now buses loading, and I don't know whether those monies are going to the councils, but because I'm told even the council, they took their people there, and then there are some cadres also operating that space there, where there's no sanitation, there's no toilet, there's nothing, no shelter, no what. So when rain season comes, people are still using that facility, but they have any other option. You know, so it's about being proactive. For the Minister of Local Government, I think this being the custodian of these facilities.
So we can safely say after Honorable Gary Nkombo was removed out of office, those conversations have died.
Natural death.
No one has picked up those conversations of expanding bus stations.
Just the way you've spoken about Kulima Tower. Anytime soon we are going to the rain season, the same problems will be there. But look at the figures which comes from there. Goes directly to the council.
So I'm getting a feeling that the Commuter Rights Association is missing Honorable Gary Nkombo.
Very true. Because it's an office you can go in, you sit down with him, you talk, but that kind of thing. Even the issue I've spoken about the electrical buses, I shared with him. That Kulima Tower, if we had such kind of vessels, I think we can create space. And he was very excited about that.
Now it's different.
I don't know where to start from. If we can go and see the current minister, if you have any idea about where he's going left.
10:21 is the time on Chatback. That's Friday's edition of Chatback right here on Radio Christian Voice. The phone lines are now open. The number to call is 0956-200-490. This morning we're having a conversation on the recently reduced bus fares of 1 kwacha only for local routes. And I'm privileged to be joined by the Commuter Rights Association of Zambia, CRAZ President, Mr. Aaron Kamuti. So you can give us a call on the number 0956-200-490. That's the number that you can call us on. Okay, let's get to the phone lines. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Kasavo. Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Zulu Nina calling from 15 miles. Good morning, Mr. Kamuti.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Mr. Kamuti, I've got a question for you. We're talking about buses, right? Yes. I've seen the buses whereby you find there are 3 conductors. So that these are conductors, they don't have risk. Sometimes, especially in a good mood, you find that they want to harass you the way I don't think they have a class so that you can begin their conduct. Not all conductors are bad, but others, they don't have respect, really. I end here. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Nina Zulu, calling us from 15 miles. I think she's raised a very important concern.
Yeah.
3 conductors for 1 bus.
Yeah.
Even I think 2, and I know you've got strong feelings on these so-called conductors, but we'll get to that. Let me get another caller. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Angel.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, this is Raymond calling from Chico.
Yes, Raymond, go ahead with the contribution.
Yes, fuel increment or reduction affects everyone. It's not just demo commuters, but also transport operators. I would like to urge RTSA, the Commuter Association of Zambia, then the transporters, because I have a concern about there is a place called Uzakile, which is about 1.5 kilometers from town. We pay 5 kwacha. And then there's another place called Nkana East, which is just within the city. We pay 13 kwacha. So, Mangamo 1 kwacha. Uzakile 5 kwacha. Usually disadvantaging. We want to pay 13 kwacha. And that's Polanda to Apunyakunam. You only 2 kwacha Valenda for Kamuti. So this law should sit down. Also, Baba in touch now, I want to put grassroots. So, why should my roots at because the man that will have to 2 kwacha. You already have 5 kwacha of Yago 2 kwacha, and it's 3 kwacha to Rwanda, which is not fair. So, you have to the viral shop. Also, Mr. Kamuti, you need to dig deeper because Ngachala, Tikoate, Pikara Pipa, Pamura, Penmasa, you are not Pangatia, so that consulting. I want to grassroots, Mr. Pario Torea. It affects everyone, and we should also consider this one thing, Bakalam. Fuel pump prices, stuff fluctuates almost every month. So, I'm a decision. If they stand at least a test of time. Thanks very much, and you're welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Raymond Chilufia, calling us from Kitwe. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program.
Tauga Mawabwaja Sogole.
Bruno Maukabwanji, Wom Sanje.
Indeed, this is Wom Sanje. Mr. Kamuti, good morning, how are you?
Morning. How are you, sir?
I'm very much okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Tayamigira Marondoro Rapino, Mugamba Buno Mamfumu. Kubora reduction ya mene waka mene. I think it was a tujita agiri kuti ni ngono. Sirangiza kuti kuli benefit kuli family tinkwera. Koma niko kuligwirizana na mene bachogera kwa hapa. Fuwanga timwayanga na munga mono musaka family tinkwera mabasi. Kuchogera kujambi tikalipo zienza tinkwera jabe mabasi. Fuel pamene inali pa 17. Ya kwera kufika ku kapena ni 34, 35. Angati ma minibus drivers wanafakira ako ndalama. Since that time kuchokera kuma 21 yuko. I think apena ni 2 kwacha 3 na 3 kwacha ningakane chifukwa mitengo wenzo ita kuti vakamba kuti varundira but vevezo sala pamene paja sivanali kurundira mitengo sivanali kurundira chazoona nchakuti lero so tikamba kuti kuenda kuchawama kuchokera mukulima tawa ni 14 kwacha kuchokera pa downtown uenda kuchawama ni 10 kwacha koma tikachoka kumatown kuja tikwera mitengo yatu yamene tichita negotiate nawo ungakwera kuchokera kuchawama 5 kwacha kubwera mu town. So I think tikulimbikisani chabe kuti kakhale ni bonse madriver naimwe vene vama motokazi yavo mukankhale tuone ngati muzafaka pa mtengo wa zingati chifukwa tikakamba tikachosa zona tichose amene vakwera pa downtown vachoseko 3 kwacha nichikwenda kuchawama zangala 7 kwacha. I don't think it will be fair enough. It will be, I don't think so. But I think ngati mwankhala pamosi maybe mungapezeko answer. Otherwise pamene vilili ava vantu vamabasi awe nakufika nthawi zino vatitikisha chabe kuti chifukwa vali mu business. Otherwise ndife tiita benefit moi vamene tikwera mabasi chifukwa kuchokera kunyumba tikwera mtengo amene tifuna.
Okay.
Bakanyama avo ni 10 kwacha 5 kwacha 10 kwacha 5 kwacha. I don't know.
No.
Right. Mulungu akudaliseni. As a leader, I think you are going to have a solution.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, Mom Sanje, calling us from within Lusaka. Thank you so much. 0956200490. Let's see if we can pick up a few more so that we respond to the concerns all at once. But perhaps maybe, I think, let me give you a chance to respond to those. This one, Clay Hayes in Solwezi says, listening in from Solwezi, if we are going to have electrical buses in Zambia, there should be electricity station to charge these buses. Thank you so much, Clays. People are still calling, but we'll get your calls just after these, after Mr. Kamuti responds to some of these concerns. Please, you may go ahead.
Yeah, Angel, I think first I'll take the first one from my lady from 15 miles. 3 bus conductors on a bus. I think this is uncalled for. This is something I've tried to address even to the operators themselves, where what they tell me that they are not even aware. But again, these conductors, they are under the supervision of the driver. But unfortunately, it's not supposed to be like that. Even the law doesn't allow that. Even the RTSA wouldn't allow that. But unfortunately, we have taken it like it's normal. Like Angel, what she said, what is happening, especially at the route going to miles, 15 miles. And when you reach 6 miles, that's why now you see the misbehavior of these guys. In fact, they've created 6 miles as a changing point. Especially those buses which roads are on the road. You find now, especially the women folk, they are being told to move out from that bus. But yet when they were boarding that bus, they were being told to that bus is going at 10 miles or 15 miles. But along the way, 6 miles, they start changing them. You know?
They move them from one bus to the other.
Yes, and you see, sometimes you find even this boy who ran away and leave those people confused, maybe not even refunding them or paying to another conductor so that he can carry those passengers. Now there's that confusion. There are 3 of them. One who pretend as if he's trying to help, then they see the bus turning, he runs away, goes to that bus, and off they go. So this is one of the serious concerns which we have as CRAZ. And we're seeing the same going to Chawama. There's that kind of misbehavior from these conductors. So to answer our question, 3 conductors are not allowed. We only need 1 conductor. In fact, that's why we've been campaigning for the removal of conductors on the buses. I've never liked them, not even a percent, because even their employees, I mean the owners of these buses, they only employ a driver. They don't employ conductors. They don't even know them. These are paid by that driver, not from the owners. There are very few operators who have accepted to have these conductors, especially on local routes. There are very few operators. Most of them, they don't even need this conductor. So I've always been campaigning to go the South African way, even Tanzania, where we don't need a conductor. You just pay to a driver. I think this is the only way out to see this kind of mischief coming out from buses, especially the bigger buses. The only bus where you would see maybe one conductor is fresh. But most of these buses, even today's to my small one, we have now 2 people on that small bus. The one is even standing on top of, which is uncalled for. So for Raymond and Mr. Musanje, I'll take as one question. As much as we appreciate what is being done by some of the drivers, because on these bus fares, the 5 kwacha Raymond is talking about in Kitwe, that is not the true reflection of the figures which supposed to appear on the fare chart. Yes, because of business. So these kind of transport, they have already compromised themselves. But the true reflection, so for where they are paying 5 kwacha, that could be 15 kwacha. Now because of business. And I know the buses he's talking about, they are not buses, they are NOAs. These are not registered vessels. These are operate illegally. So they are
black number plates.
Black number plates. So if you pay 10 kwacha, Kitwe is NOAs. We have very few bigger buses or small buses operating in Kitwe. NOAs, they've taken charge.
We should also have RTSA here to explain how they allow.
No, they don't even allow. It's politics. Because of politics, they pay something somewhere. You understand? But RTSA doesn't allow that. In case of an accident, how are you going to reprimand such a person? But even that operation, which is at Aero Stadium, that operates illegally. You go and hike a private vehicle in case of an accident. You have nowhere to go. So those operate illegally. Even Mr. Musanje, the 14 kwacha is talking about. Korima Tower, I've already said, Korima Tower, what we are paying maybe in other stations and what you pay when you board a bus from Korima Tower is totally different. So even this 14 kwacha, it's supposed to be 15 kwacha or 16 kwacha. So they've removed a certain amount from the same. So already what we have here, they've done the reductions. So even if we say, okay, 2 kwacha across the board, because what you want to see is what is reflecting on the fare chart. So what is being negotiated upon. For example, if you go to 10 miles, you pay 20 kwacha. When you go at from 10 miles to 15, you pay 5 kwacha. There's no fare chart which says that. You just negotiate between yourselves and the conductor. So what is happening in Kitwe, what's happening in Chawama and other areas like Kanyama, where is a talk, is a issue of engaging. You have a verbal contract with the conductor, not the true reflection of the amount you're supposed to pay.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to you've exhausted the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
Hello. Good morning. You are through to the program. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm
Your name and where you calling us from? Your name Zina.
No, Zina ngandile fleta.
At Bandan? Zina stina investese Zina. At Bandan? Fraser. Okay, Fraser. Fraser from Mrs.
Yeah, my Mrs. Compound. Yeah.
Okay, Bossano team.
Legally, we for guess maybe my question is that you are tingane nazoti bafuna mabasi ya kuru yakazingi tikazikwera mwesevokwera manje tanitani kutila kumtima yani mabasi yachoke outside my investors batitanize mabasi ya kuru ushe bageti watu wa muni studio ushe MPs yose wajasanga kwanza kukula kwa mabasi kwa mbatu wapasa kwa Zambia zikikoambira yani kuna kali kwanza wazikipasa zini pasi November yakiwa kipase ma investors vokwera zona then kinangu rejection ya 1 quarter
Most of they were not serious. So panels are key upon 17 quarter, there's an unclear and 12 something. But the best driver, when you pretend that it was a man is so wire. My question is that once we might have fasting, then go 1 quarter. So balance one the guys that him take 1 quarter. Is it not sense to put on my bus? I think that we get up a drum body, we had a pass. The quarter seems quarter. Someone that you want to put a secretary and look at a Morito. The government is a Patocapo, later and 1 at Randuanga, Nelpa Zambia. Even the government is a Patocapo, they never the machine and turning group the Vena who do a dish canal. What is the Randuanga? Yes. So enough and what is okay. So the men about the we're going to difference and what it are here. 1 quarter and 1 minute. What is it? I know the man to go to 1 quarter and parliament. Why 1 quarter? Well, but the movement is to together 1 quarter. I will show Zambia say shame.
All right. But Fraser, thank you so much. Great to know that you are tuned in from Mississippi. Thank you so much, Fraser. You can call us on 0956 200490. Kulima Tower Bus Station, Intercity and City Market are more heavily backed and controlled by cadres. They conduct secret meetings inside the stations every week on different days. I have witnessed it. A lot of cadreism is very high in all bus stations. From Voice of the Church in Lusaka. Okay, thank you so much, Voice of the Church in Lusaka. Saying that there's a lot of cadreism in these bus stations that is just mentioned. I really appreciate. Let's get okay. Moses Mulambia says, Mr. Kamuti, you are articulate. This is on Facebook. Mr. Kamuti, you are articulating issues well. You understand issues surrounding public transport. Thank you so much, Mr. Moses Mulambia. Oswald Chulufia says, I agree with you, sir. This is all politics. Thank you so much, Oswald Chulufia on Facebook. Then Mutisa on Facebook says it is not making sense for sure. He is responding to the question that we've posed on Facebook on the 1 kwacha reduction. 0956 200490. 0956 200490. Let's get your call on that particular number before we close the phone lines. Let's get this caller. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program.
Good morning, Angel. How are you today?
I'm fine. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Mr. Mukeneka calling from Ndola. Mr. Kamuti, sir, good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
I'm very fine, thank you. Most people have dealt on the reduction of 1 quarter, which to me is not enough. However, my concern would go, Mr. Kamuti, let me take you back when you had UBZ buses, big buses, the one that you are proposing to bring on the market. If you remember, Mr. Kamuti, that center where we had makeshift restaurants, today it's a shopping complex. Okay, we used to have many buses, UBZ, and we used to queue for those buses. But there was sanity at the time. Now look at what is happening, particularly at Kulima Tower. There's no sanity. A lot of buses flooding the roads. So I would urge you to quickly, bring big buses on the market so that we could be boarding and traveling in comfort. I've noticed here in Ndola, for example, there are buses that do not even go into town, the CBD, from Twapia to Main Masala Market, and from Chifuvu to Kawama. There are also such stations in Lusaka. You go to Shukan, up to Kabanana, from this Mongeni station there in Chipata compound to Kabanana, from Mtendere to Mtendere East. Such stations, those buses are finished. My sister said she noticed a bus with 3 conductors. I noticed one with 2. The other one is holding to the door. The windows don't even slide. The other one is, taking fares from us. So those buses should quickly be removed from the market if our safety is to be guaranteed. And finally, as I conclude, Mr. Kamuti, how often should big buses be fumigated? Because buses carry people from all walks of life. And 2 months ago, my brother traveling from Lusaka to Kitwe noticed bed bugs on buses. So how often should buses be fumigated? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your elaborate questions, Mr. Mcheleka. Good morning, you are through to the program.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
My name is Ngoma. I'm calling you from Charleston.
Yes, sir.
My concern is in the Kulima Tower bus station there. You know, when you load the big buses,
Mr. Ngoma, are you there? Oh, I think
network
gave up on him.
as usual.
This issue of network. Mr.
Another
Kamuti,
problem. Can you bring somebody here to explain? Sure.
I think so. Good morning, Mr. Kamuti. As the Commuter Rights Association of Zambia, do you also speak on behalf of commuters that get on Yango vehicles? Because Yango vehicles of late are becoming problematic. They overcharge us compared to what the main prices are. Thank you so much. All right, no name on this one, but he's speaking. He's asking if you speak on the.
In fact, let me just pick that one. Oh, you have
yes,
okay,
already
okay.
picked up. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
I am Mrs. Chanda calling from Kitu.
Yes, go ahead with the contribution.
Yes, my contribution, sir. Good morning, Mr. Kamuti.
Morning, ma'am. How are you?
Yes, Mr. Kamuti. I heard you talk about the NOAA and the pricing of these vehicles. Like the previous caller said, you find that you pay something a different price, which were NOAA, a different price nama buses like rosters and stuff like that. So now my question is, like you said that NOAA, these are black legislation. They are not supposed to be commuting. But not Mr. Wabakanji.
Vanan?
The NOAAs.
Mkwai.
Are they allowed to be commuters or they are not allowed to be on the road?
Okay.
Because Kukito if and the way these guys drive, you don't want to know. Sometimes you are parked in the more 11 and so forth and so on. Now my question is, what is RTSA doing about it?
Okay.
Then the second contribution is, well, if you come more town center, you find my vehicles littered, my buses. If you are familiar with Kitwe, from Matuka, the CBT, and also the central business area, up to Kuma Road, if you're coming Kuma residential, you find buses parked all over and so forth. So isn't there a way that can be made in such a way that those buses, they are not being stationed there, because that is where the hygiene also is compromised. Those guys, they are not toilets where they park their cars.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Chanda, calling us from Kitwe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Forgive me, Mr. Kamuti, but we'll have to get all the concerns before you respond to them. Chewe Sunkutu says the best way is to allow the council to reintroduce local buses so that the public can have a wider choice. Yango is a private business. It all comes to the public either to use them or not. So it says Yango is private, so it all comes down to the public. I would have loved Mr. Ngoma to call us back. The caller from Charleston looks like he had a very good point.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he can call us back before we close the phone lines on the number 0956 200490. Mr. Kamuti, you have quite a number that I'll allow you to respond to.
I'll start with Yango. Yango, I totally agree with the caller saying that they have a serious problem with Yango. Yes, we represent the interests of the passengers using Yango, and we've engaged Yango several times. Unfortunately, the office for Yango Zambia, you cannot find it. all what we have, those are just sergeants. The actual manager representing the interests of Russians, because Yango is not Zambian, it's from Russia. So the lady who represents this institution have tried to engage her to see how we can solve this problem. I've been on the programs like this one, ZNBC and other followers with the current president for Young or Online Taxis Association. And I put this across to him that why should I pay something which is not appearing on the app? Because that's illegal. So if you as a passenger, you find yourself in a situation like that one, somebody's asking more than what you've seen on your phone, that's total extortion. So what we have done, we've reported to the police. So if you find yourself in a situation like that one, go to the nearest police station, put down the fleet number of that, the number plate of that vehicle, and the name which is on that app for that particular driver who has picked you, and make sure that you make a follow-up. Police now, they are arresting. So report, that's extortion, and it's a very serious offense. So do that. Don't, because the problem we have as Zambians, you are passive. You have that problem at that particular time, you forget even tomorrow, maybe your relative or your friend will face the same problem. So if you start taking these people to the police, then you are sorting out the problem. And Miss Chanda, Kitwe, very true. Kitwe is something else. So pathetic that you can't even when it comes to public transport. Those knowers, they are operating illegally. RTSA have tried their level best to bring these guys on board, that they formalize themselves, register those vessels, and start paying to RTSA. And the numbers, like Ms. Chanda said, being overloading. In case of an accident, how many people are you going to lose? So RTSA are doing that, but now, this is the country where we have politics at play. Whatever we do, there must be someone protecting the interests. We don't know if even these politicians, if they are involved, if they are the same operators operating those knowers, we are not so sure. But the unfortunate part is that it needs a political will. If we have these politicians getting concerned and see to it that we put a stop to these illegal activities, well and good. Then we'll bring sanity on our roads. The overloading of buses on the streets, this is council now. Why can't they find space where we can take these buses, create a very nice, conducive space, a bus stop, a bus station, where people do even use the toilet and other facilities, and you collect revenue. You make your monies. Now, because of, I don't care attitude, everyone wants to be told what they're supposed to do. And my colleague from Undora, very true, I agree with you. Those buses going from Apia, although I've seen nice buses or cargo vans from Chifubu going to town the time I went for trade. I think I haven't been in Ndora for almost 3 months or so. I know what he's talking about. Yes, I think if we bring bigger buses, we'll bring sanity. It's not as big. We used to have these buses. Everything phased out. We used to have DCMs. Where are they? They are gone. In Ndora, we used to have Toyota Dyna from Masara to town, Rubuto, Toyota Dyna. They are gone. So even this time around, these IS, the Quantums, very soon they will phase out, like I said. So we will bring sanity. We'll see how we can do it. And Korima Tower, future, we'll see that. Even these electrical buses, my colleague from Sure said, where are we going to be charging? Everything is being put in place. We are very, very soon we'll be charging ports. Like Angel have just enlightened me of electrical solar, where we'll be charging our buses. This will help the situation with the current happenings with ZESCO, where a number of these facilities, they don't have electricity coming from ZESCO. So solar is the way to go.
Last contribution, this one says, morning Mr. Kamuti, please educate us on the loading of big buses in Kulima Tower. The back seats, is it 5 or 4?
It's 4.
Why do you allow that situation? Mr. Ngoma Ara in Charleston. All right, this is the Mr. Ngoma.
Oh, the one was
yes.
No,
so educate us. Is it 5 or 4?
No, you see, what has happened is very unfortunate that we are playing double standards. Yeah, in Lusaka, they've allowed these big buses, back seats to sit 5-5. Just Lusaka. But go to the Copper Belt, it's 4-4. According to the manufacturers, the way they make those furniture, the way they make those seats, if you look at the way they are put, you sit according to that space. But now that 5, where a big person like me, you find yourself squeezing there. I don't usually sit behind behind the eyes. Totally refuse, because you see you are squeezed beyond the normal sitting capacity. But I've always taken RTSA to task. Why have you allowed Lusaka passengers to be sitting 5-5? Because you just see in Lusaka, go to the Copper, but no one would agree. So unfortunately, all this is politics.
So it's RTSA that has played double standards.
Yes, because if you look at the seating capacity for some of the buses in Lusaka, it's even written there. It's there. So normally what should happen is that the back seat should be 4-4. But unfortunately, this is politics. They've tried to engage these operators, someone who come to sit and support this kind of mischief. The only bus or the only van where you can sit comfortably is Flash. Behind there, they don't allow 5. It's 4.
But it's also an illegal vehicle for carrying passengers.
We don't even have buses here, because you see, we are talking about Noah. Noah can't be a bus. That's a family bus, to say, or a cargo van. Toyota Ace has never been a bus. It's a cargo van. Quantum's never been a bus. It's a cargo van. It's a family bus, if it comes with the seats, that is. But now what we have, everything is being improvised. They just manufactured by individuals. And you see, the material being used to manufacture those seats is metal, which is very lethal in case of an accident. And this is what kills people, that impact. So even the Noahs which are overloading there in Kitwe, that's illegal. But I know very well that RTSA's hands are tied. Someone is getting kickbacks from the same operations.
Interesting. All right, let's get to your concluding remarks even as we rest towards the end of the interview.
Well, first, Angel, I want to appreciate the privilege you've given me to be here. And also to the callers, I think let's not be passive. Let's try to engage each other. I appreciate all your contributions and comments. And as for me, what we've discussed, I'll pick it from there. But on the issue of adjustment of bus fares, we still put our position that what has been given to us, a one coach across the board, is illegal. We have not accepted that. We have objected to that, and we've put it very clear to RTSA. Next time around, we don't want them to behave in such a way where they just receive a proposal from the operators and the following day they announce that this is what is reflecting, and they are putting our name in an awkward position, because what is being said is that they engaged us, yet it's a lie. They didn't engage us and other stakeholders. So this time around, we will not accept to receive any communique from operators, and we receive a pronouncement from RTSA like that's a true reflection of the agreement between ourselves and that proposal from the operators. So we are still saying the current one kwacha across the board for local routes is illegal. We haven't accepted.
Okay. All right. Mr. Kamuti, thank you so much for making it through to today's edition of Chatback. We really appreciate, and we can only wish you and your association all the best, even as you continue to represent the well-being of commuters. Thank you so much for coming through.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you, Angel.